as the Washington Examiner is reporting, Devin Nunes, Republicans have active investigation into intelligence inspector general. That's right. Atkinson received a complaint from a CIA analyst whose identity has not yet been confirmed in August and deemed it to be urgent and credible. The complaint raised concerns about Trump's July 25th phone call with the Ukrainian President Zelensky. Atkinson forwarded the complaint to Acting Director of National Intelligence Joseph McGuire, who did not give the watchdog permission to share it with Congress after seeking guidance from the White House and the Justice Department, but did allow him to notify them of its existence. Nunes said House Republicans have an active investigation open into Atkinson. They have sent a letter to the Inspector General, but Nunes said they gave us a very typical IC response, which is to not answer the question. He also conceded that as the minority party in the House, Republicans cannot subpoena Atkinson or force him to testify again. Now, why is this important? Well, there is reason why there should be an active investigation into the Inspector General Atkinson here. Now, apparently he has testified in closed-door proceedings, and that testimony needs to be made public. But there has been a lot of actions and conduct that has happened from this particular Inspector General that is very questionable, especially in his determination that it was urgent and credible. Now, first off, he did absolutely nothing to try and verify the accuracy of the information. But secondly, he changed the rules in order to be able to go through and get the notification over to Congress about this. Because before this complaint was written, in order for a whistleblower to actually have any credibility and for any of this to have actually gone anywhere, what would need to have happened? They would have either had to witness the event themselves or have evidence of the event. This person had nothing. This person didn't witness or see any evidence of anything. All they had was a rumor they heard from somebody else, which seems to be the Democrats' whole impeachment theory is, I heard it from somebody else. And apparently the Democrats think that hearsay is much better than any type of direct evidence. And the lack of witnesses didn't seem to impede them whatsoever. But let's also take a look at how this went. So they got a complaint from a person who didn't actually witness anything, didn't have any evidence, wasn't actually a whistleblower to anything that they are alleging. But they changed the rules in order to allow that complaint to be filed. Now, just like they did with the Steele dossier, they didn't have a way to actually get the information out to the public. So what did they do? Well, if you remember with the Steele dossier, the information was unverified and, not very credible, but the media wanted to report on it in order to attack Trump. So what did they do? Oh, I got it. Let's have Comey brief the president. That way, when we report on the dossier, we're not actually reporting on the dossier itself. We're reporting on the briefing of the dossier and what they were briefed the dossier said. And that's how they were able to get the dossier out into the public while being shielded from any legal responsibility for reporting unverified and bunch of garbage information. Well, what did they do here? They received the complaint. The complaint didn't have any evidence or credibility or any witnesses to it. So they changed the rules just enough to be able to send a notification over to Congress. Right? And they did so because they know the Democrats would make a big stink of it. And that the Democrats would talk about a complaint that has been filed, by a whistleblower and that they demand to see it. And they went off and just because they had the information that a complaint had been filed, even though it didn't qualify as an actual complaint under the actual rules in place, they were able to get the complaint and the allegations out into the open and claim that it was from somebody from within the intelligence community Therefore, it must have some form of credibility to it. And this is the genius of the Democrats. They're evil, they're completely anti-American, but they're not all as stupid as AOC. They do have plans in order to make fake information seem legitimate, to be able to get fake information out into the open and use it as attack on their political rivals, in this case, Trump. And that's what this all amounts to. They had somebody who is closely associated with a Democrat running for office, running against Trump in the 2020 election, who went out there and wrote a complaint based off of a rumor, with somebody who decided to change the rules just enough to notify the Democrats in Congress, who would then make a big stink out of it and be able to get it released to the public so that they can try and justify fulfilling their promise of impeachment against the president. However, the more we look into this, the worse it gets for the Democrats. The more we look into the possible background of this whistleblower and how partisan they are, what a partisan actor they are, and that they're represented by a Clinton lawyer, and that they may have coordinated their complaint with members of the House, or at least their staff. But now, as we start looking at the Inspector General, things are starting to look worse and worse there as well. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look at this. All of this is to say that the Inspector General, who went through to change all the rules, or at least just enough rules to allow this so-called whistleblower complaint that otherwise would not have qualified as a whistleblower complaint and would not be accepted under the rules of which, stated that you had to have either witnessed or have evidence to the events in question, is all connected to the same people who were involved in SpyGate. That this IG Atkinson's resume has him working with everybody who was a part of the Trump-Russia hoax that tried to undo the 2016 election. And so the very fact that he is connected to all the swamp players, all of the people that promoted the hoax, investigated the hoax, and lied to the FISA courts and went through and, doctored information, changed documents, and even manipulated transcripts, all those people, this Inspector General happens to have lots of connections to, lots of personal working relationships with, and he may himself have played some part in the Trump-Russia hoax itself. So it doesn't look like this particular Inspector General is an honest actor. It seems like this Inspector General is a partisan hack, which is why he allowed a complaint that otherwise violated the rules associated with whistleblower complaints to go through and get notification over to Congress that sparked the whole impeachment inquiry and the whole impeachment debate and farce that the Democrats have been running ever since information about this particular, complaint has come out and been made public. They are sick. The swamp is thick in DC, and it's all against Trump. It's all against the Constitution. It's all against you. Because remember, if anything from the Democrats' 2020 campaign, if anything from how they talk and speak in public, they hate you. They think you, the people, are a bunch of ignorant, racist, sexist, bigots who don't deserve democracy, freedom, or any of the rights guaranteed under the Constitution. Because you are horrible people, and therefore you need to elect them to prove that you can be better so that they can institute a utopia in which they dictate every part of your life. Hey, YouTube viewers, thank you so much for your time and attention in watching this video. If you want to get more, click on the video playing off to the side here. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos and content drops. Thank you, and I appreciate it.